So I feel like I should give an explanation about the fixing of the furnace. Y'all were so nice to me and talked about, I am woman, hear me roar, all of that goodness. But I didn't just do that, right? Like I didn't just go downstairs and tear it apart and fix it. First, I was playing video games with Veronica. She was kicking my ass at Mario Kart. And I heard it click on and it was like super loud. And I was like, oh crap. So I went downstairs to, I don't know what, just look at it and make sure it wasn't a duct, right? Make sure it was the furnace itself and not just a duct. And it was the furnace. And so I didn't just take it apart to see what was wrong. I sat down on one of those red kind of tote things that holds my Christmas decorations to panic. And then I broke that, right? Like my ass was too big and it cracked, and then I cried. And then I sat down on the cold floor in the basement and cried. And then my ass got too cold, and so I got up and I sat on a chair down there and I immediately panicked. I went to how much are new furnaces, how do you burn your house down and not get caught, all of that kind of stuff, right? I panicked. And that I get from my mother and her mother before her, that it was always the sky was falling, the end of the world, everything was worst case scenario. But once I decided it was cold in the basement and my arthritis was starting to get terrible, I needed to get my shit together, right? So I texted a friend. I'm like, the furnace is making noise. What do I do? And he knows I'm broke, right? I joke about that. Broke is, being poor is a chance to learn stuff, but it's true, right? If I had money, I just would have texted like one of those 24-hour places and some dude would have come out and told me he couldn't get the part until next week and that I was screwed and it was $1,000 or whatever. So I texted him and he's like, send me videos. I sent him a video and he's like, oof, yeah, it's the motor, blah, blah, blah. And so I took the cover off of the furnace to figure out, he said, figure out which motor it is. Is it the top or the bottom? And I was like, huh? So then I Googled how do furnaces work because I didn't get it, really. I didn't know there were two motors. I knew that there was an exhaust bit and that there was a heat bit, but I didn't realize the top motor is for the exhaust so you don't die in your house, and that goes up and through the roof into the chimney, and then the other one is to blow it into the ductwork, right? So, okay, so it's a top one. So that's the inducer, and the furnace won't explode. It should not explode if it all seizes up and dies. There's a safety on it that shuts it off but kills the furnace. So then I start to Google, when do pipes freeze? Right, because this big ass old house, I can't put space heaters everywhere, right? So not at 20, Monday nights 10, that'll be a little sketch. I'll have to leave water running if we don't have any heat then. Anyway, so then I start to Google what the part is. And the part ranges in price everywhere from like $500 to $40, depending. And so I decided, I watched a YouTube video, some dude took it apart and fixed it, and I was like, huh, I can do that. I just fixed my dryer heating element thing, and I learned that from YouTube as well. And so I shut the heat off on my phone app, and then there's a safety switch. So, I wasn't bent over doing the thing and my hair catches on fire when it bursts, the gas starts. So I shut the safety switch off and took the piece off of it because it said sometimes it can sound wonky if there's dirt or something in there. Well, there's not. Mine's perfectly clean because I had it serviced in the fall. So you can hear the little dog. She's screaming at her bedding because she doesn't like how it's positioned. Anyway, I took it apart and there's nothing wrong with it. The bearing is going. It's got a wobble to it. Okay. So I put a little lube on it like the dude said to in the thing to keep it running smooth so it doesn't catch. It stops wobbling when it's hotter. When it heats up and it expands, it's more solid. So it's just on the startup and the shutdown that it's so loud. Anyway, so then I have to try and find a part. That's the next step, right? So I'm looking to see who's open, and there's no one because of course it's Saturday and there's no one open. And so I see if I can pick one up on Monday. Yes, there's a place on the south side of Lansing. I can pick one up on Monday, except they don't have it in stock, of course, because why would they? Because, So I went right to the manufacturer. I was like, I'm going right to the manufacturer. I went to the manufacturer, $121 for the part, $37. I did 2-day air because I have a really important all-day meeting on Tuesday, and I was worried that, like, ding-dong, the doorbell, like the whole thing, right? So it'll be here Wednesday. I do have meetings, a huge meeting until like 9 o'clock on Wednesday, so I might not get to fix it until Wednesday night unless I can take a little bit of PTO in the middle of the day. But it should hold up till then. If not, it'll be cold. It'll be really cold. The upstairs is much warmer, clearly, because the heat rises, right? Science, sixth grade science. We believe in science in this house. So we'll just bundle up upstairs. I got a California King, right? I'll jump in it and be warm and just live under blankets until I can get it fixed. It should probably take me about 45 minutes to get it fixed, and that's only because my hands hurt so bad I can't. It's hard for me to get up and down. My neighbor Chuck is an amazing human. He would come over and help me if I needed to. My neighbor Ian would help me. I got Tim on help from an hour away. He's a great guy. He and his wife are redoing an amazing house. He knows his shit, right? He's who I contact when I need help. Him and Chuck and Ian are my go-tos, and Jeff for those kind of, and Mike for those kind of questions. But you can do this. It was mostly the ladies that were like, oh my God, how do you can do this, ladies. It's all about thinking about how things work and sitting down and figuring it out. And you can even panic first. I did. I cried for about 15 minutes. Snot pouring out of my face, tears. I was sad. Yeah. Then I got it together and I figured it out, and you can do it too. It was really cool. I learned how the furnace works better, right? Like, not just gas comes on and makes heat and then, yay, my toes are warm. I learned how it works and how it exhausts and all of that. And I think that's important stuff. I mean, I don't take the privilege of owning a home lightly, right? I work with people with disabilities. I know many people who would love to be able to dump a can of glitter in dump a jar of glitter in a quart of black paint and put it over their fireplace like I did last week, right? To have the autonomy to be able to live in their own space and not have somebody telling them what they can and cannot do. I don't take it lightly. And I know how to do stuff. And that I'm given to my dad, right? Before he let me get my driver's license, I had to take what they called, and it's kind of condescending, but it was called a powder puff back then, mechanics class. I had to know how the damn car worked before he would let me drive it. And so even though I can't always fix everything, it's going in on Thursday for new brakes. I don't have a garage. I don't have all of the things, the strength in my hands mostly, that I need to change the rotors and do my brakes. I'm also taking it in to have a camshaft positioning sensor changed and a timing chain redone. I've done that stuff before, back in the day. Things are different now. I don't know how to do it. But at least I can go and talk to the guy, and I can be articulate, and I can know what's happening so they don't try to screw me over. So you can do this too. You just have to think a little bit, and really Google and YouTube are good friends. So thank you for the nice comments. I still do appreciate it, but I'm not quite as cool as you thought I was.